Our business relies entirely upon pollination by bees.
We've got 4,000 hives here at $150 a hive. That's $600,000. To me, that's real money.
Okay, hello, I'm Pascal, and I'm gonna read your hands today. We in the International Institute of Hand Analysis, we call, when we see this hand, worker bee. And this comes out of the combination out of two elements, so we use the language of elements, earth, water, fire and air. And when I look in your hands, without explaining what these signs are, but it's the shape and the lines and everything, there I see the two elements of earth and fire. I see the long ring finger, and the upper are kind of round and spatulate, and so we call this the tinkerer. So this is like the artist.
When I was a child, I was not sure whether I will be a painter or a writer. So filmmaking is mixing these two dreams together. So I'm telling story with images.
So like in Basel, the Tanguy, and Tanguy was a creative craftsman, and he did of old iron, he did creative, interesting machines that moves and do all this stuff. Leonard Bernstein had also hands like you. So he was a creative genius guy, he had different music, so he was a tinker in music. And he works his ass off and working, and he holds all together. So in which direction you are going is always an influence than what you had around you when you in your longer life.
If you say a sentence and open the sentence up or down, it changes the meaning of the sentence. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I work with actors like with music, and they say try to put the accent here and make so like it would be music, because the music has a very precise information.
So in the direction which way you're doing, I don't know. Are you really doing this in a physical way by using the hands, or I saw hands like that. They can be also a Steven Spielberg, and they do this in a movie way, and so he do also some big stuff, and he creates crazy movies, and he's a tinker in the movie direction.
The first 4 weeks when we are making rehearsals and inventing things, and we can change everything every day. Mm-hmm. That's the most beautiful work you can imagine.
Yeah, like I said, the Spielberg who has the courage to do an impossible movie. Like yeah, he dares to go to project where they need maybe 2 or 3 years to do. There's a lot of work, and where other people maybe are scared to take this big project. So he's not afraid to take risk and to go on for the impossible. Mm-hmm. And this is actually attractive for you, not just do a simple love movie or whatever that everyone can do. So you love to go to the difficult section.
So I wouldn't make just funny things turning around in the air. If I have not a sense of life in the thing I'm doing, I'm bored and I'm not doing it.
I see, for example, in his fingerprints is about service energy. So service is about a lot of sacrificing thing in life. So it can be movies where people had a hard, difficult life, and these lines here, There's our challenge line, challenges, and we call here also the Mars.
One was about a prison and the other was about Swiss cavalry. So I was asking if the horses are so proud to be in the cavalry as the people sitting on the horses. Freedom is, I get very angry if somebody is not free. I look around and I'm astonished and angry, and I have just to react. Attracted by hot irons. No, it's the whole content of my last film is in any of my films is part of hot iron.
Mm-hmm.
In the cavalry film, I had money from the cavalry to do the film. I had several sponsors, but I got money from the cavalry as well, because they thought it will be a PR film for cavalry, because I was a cavalry sergeant myself, so they have been sure that it will be just glory. And they read in the newspaper what the film was really about. And they went to the court and paid the same sum they gave me to forbid the film. Was it an order of them to have they ordered the film I didn't do the film they wanted to have, or was it just a sponsored film? And it was a very delicate discussion, because we had not there was no definition of freedom in the contract we had. And then we had I had to make a censored version for television until the Parliament has decided to cut down to eliminate cavalry.
That's going to limit your career there at that point.
It helped me because, for example, the film about the cavalry got several prizes, was in Venice in the festival, and was forbidden in Switzerland. So this contradiction was helpful for me.
Interesting. Wow, that's a life, huh?
That people touch us directly into the core,
Mm-hmm.
and the people just say yes, it was right, and the movie would make other people to better people. Like I say, we have a lot of people in the world, but just a few humans. So there are too many people here, but where are the humans? And so this would be a movie for humanity, and by looking at humanity, people would change a little bit in humanity. Or like a Gandhi movie, like that also, it needs to have a message where it touches inside.
Prison film, I was hiding all the faces of the prisoner with a black...
Just the anonymization, yeah.
And I was not doing with the directors and the guards. So it was very obscene to see these naked faces of the... And they... art needs to be personal and universal in the same time, and you have to try to get these two different edges together. But if you lose the hope that you can change things, there are a lot of people saying the world is turning around anyway, and if I participate or not, it's the same. But if everybody thinks like this, then it's going the wrong way, because then also only the mean egoistic thinking is leading the world. So you are helping the assholes winning.
My grandfather would probably walk from this property if he saw the way we keep bees today. He'd think, my God, you've lost your soul.
He knows everything. He says we are killing a third of our bees every year. So he has never seen with a micro lens what the bees are suffering while he is doing this.
He has not seen the film?
No, he has just saw clips and trailers and internet.
Wow. I would love to be a fly on the wall, a bee on the wall for that to be there when that happens. How do you feel about that?
Of course, I'm a little bit scared because we had. He liked me a lot because my grandfather was a beekeeper, and he framed the photo of the house of my grandfather's bee house. I was asking very, as a beekeeper, how you have invented this way, and so he opened the door. We are abusing the bees quite a bit now.
Or it can be also a very spiritual movie where some like in Buddhism, where the people do kind of a sacrifice, and they suffer, and they do for tradition, or for the religion, they do some things where they go through a lot of pain or whatever. So it can go in a really spiritual direction.
One of my most successful fiction film was a story of refugees being rejected in Switzerland. So the relationship between the individual and society, and the question of freedom.
You're constantly moving forward for working, for doing, for working, for doing, and so your whole life is all about work. And when you're a happy worker bee, the challenge is, I know the day I have only 24 hours, but you would like to work 48 hours in a 24-hour day.
Einstein soll gesagt haben, wenn die Bienen aussterben, sterben 4 Jahre später auch die Menschen aus.
The queen bee mating in air. Did you take that shot?
Mm.
How in the world, how many hours did you do footage
we
there?
worked 10 days for 36 seconds of film. It's very, when you're shooting a film, you're always scared if you can get what you have in your mind, really, if it will be what you have imagined. And the weather, and the other people, and the protagonists, and the bees, and then in the editing, we have been 1 year in the editing room, in a semi-dark room for a year, with 205 hours of material, and then you struggle, you hope, and it's just another energy in this period where you create something.
All these, when they're so washed out, this is an information for me. And also when I look here down on the bottom, it doesn't look the same like here. It just looks so little dots, and all these are indicators for me that you didn't take care of your body. So you just use, it's like when you drive a car and you never do a service. So that's the difficult part for you in life, is to bring your car into service. Let's say you have fever and your body is tired, you still go work.
I'm traveling so much that I can't imagine how it could be a pleasure traveling in holidays. Since months I'm doing nothing else but speaking about bees, and doing interviews and speaking with audiences, and even the battery of my watch broke down, and I gave my watch to the producer and said, "You see, that's me. I go home and I will speak to the people by Skype now." And it's difficult to be sincere when you are exhausted. So.
And can a worker bee come at home and remember that he has a wife? So he needs a woman that is really, 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 really tolerant with him. Mm. And at the end, when he got the speech, "Thank you, my wife, that you were so tolerant. We were 40 years together, but we just see each other 1 year." It's just he had a wife, but they saw each other all together maybe 2 years, and 38 years he was working.
Yeah, then she is working in Berlin, and she can't just go where I'm going. And I have my house in Italy, and my dog would like to be in Italy, and me too, and spring. So
the challenge for you is also in the relationship. Can you open yourself in a relationship? Can you speak up? How can a wife or a woman can come close to you and see inside of you?
It's maybe also a kind of shyness that I don't tell it to the people directly, but I tell it through this form of art.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So the audience has to have the pleasure to discover itself, to read the secrets and to see the shadow sides, or also golden sides.
Nice.
In my prison films, I was defending the prisoners, even if I worked as a prison guard to write a screenplay. And
you did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's method acting.
I try to defend life, and I try to defend my own life, and that's also the pleasure of being alive.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this, I am liberating myself. So
yes, I got it.
Is the introverted side and the extroverted side. I don't want to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me alone. I just want to be in my house and do my stuff and do my work. I don't want to be in the public.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, but I want to be in the public. I need acknowledgement.
Sometimes I'm in my house in Italy for months alone.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends there, but of course a lot of things I don't share with others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I share it through the work I make.
When I look into your life lesson, like I said, the life lesson is the least evolved skill. And one word, what I want to talk is about value. So how do you value your life? How do you value your work? And you go now when you get the how we call this, the thank you from the public, the gratification, the Anerkennung. How we say the Anerkennung? In English, the Anerkennung.
Acknowledgement?
Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Or when other people give you a compliment and tells you, wow, respect Mr. Workerbee. I'm really impressed what you did in your life. And then there is a challenge to just say, thank you very much. This acknowledgement would nourish your soul. And this is important.
Last time it took me 3 days to come from Los Angeles to Munich because I got the prize there, and I had absolutely to go there. And I was sitting for hours and hours in transit stations. And it was horrifying, but at the same time it was a gift that I had time for me.
How would you compare yourself to Michael Moore?
He is more of an intelligent clown who likes to be in the first. I would never film myself in a film.
The other side of a dilemma is the strong altruistic side that you have and the strong ego side. So how can you have balance between being egoistic and following your own track, but in the other side you want to be so completely altruistic and just want to do everything for free?
I was working on a story of a con man who was inventing himself and pretending to be somebody else. in one hand, it was the kind of being his own director and inventing his horoscope yourself and being independent and free, but of course causing a lot of anger and damage to other people. And so I switched to this swarm intelligence theme, which in this theme the whole world is connected. The insect and the plants and the man and the human. How can we feed the world and the world economic and ecological themes. It's just a contrary of this very extreme individualistic story, which is cause of the crisis in which we are now, economic crisis as well. There are several scout bees finding places and coming back and telling the others what they have found. And they are dancing and indicating what they have found, and so it's a kind of, it takes sometimes 3 days that the different scout bees are making publicity for their place they have found. And it's interesting that even after a while some of the scout bees start dancing like the other is dancing, so they switch and helping the scout bee or the others to go to the place where the other scout bees is making publicity for. And my main question to the people is, do you think human beings are part of nature or not? It's a very, very simple question. We are all raised to be head of nature, and everybody wants to be the little Putin and direct everything. And this is, if you start being part of nature, life becomes much more interesting, and so maybe becoming older and older, I will find a way out of fighting for freedom and finding it maybe in interacting swarm intelligence of bigger.
You nailed him. You got him. I love it. So he is working on a movie for as a movie director. So you can take it out. So we sat and interviewed Mr. Imhoof. Do you know who he is yet? Good. I want you to guess a little bit more.